Hey guys, I'm sorry I'm not there again today. I know that you've been looking at the trigonometry stuff the last couple classes, so on Friday and yesterday, and I got a lot of questions about it, so I really want to actually take the time to go through it with you today. So I do ask that you actually listen and copy the notes. I know you don't want to, but it's really going to help you, and you are going to turn in the notes for points. So the idea that we're going to be studying is trigonometry, and I'll try not to take forever to get through this, but I don't want to go too fast. Trigonometry is just the study of the relationships between the sides of a right triangle and its angles. So trigonometry has three basic ratios, and those are sine, cosine, and tangent. And each of those is the relationship between two of the sides. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the last couple of days, all you've been asked to do is put the correct sides together. So let's actually talk about what those sides mean. All right, so for instance, if I look at angle A specifically, the side that is opposite angle A is the side that is way over on the other side of the triangle. So it does not touch my angle. That would be my opposite side. The box we know points to the hypotenuse. And then the other side would be your adjacent side. So this would be my adjacent side. So an adjacent side touches our angle. So if I'm looking at sine A, that would be opposite, which is A, over hypotenuse, which is C. So sine A is A over C. Cosine A would be adjacent over hypotenuse. So my adjacent side would be this side. My hypotenuse would be the C. So B over C would be my cosine A. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So we're going to go opposite, which is the side way over here, and then adjacent. So A over B. When I go to do the same thing for angle B this time, now the opposite side, the one that doesn't touch angle B, is over here. The box still points to my hypotenuse, and then now this is my adjacent side. So if I do sine now, opposite over hypotenuse, so it's going to be B over C. Adjacent over hypotenuse will be A over C. And then opposite over adjacent, again, opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be B over A. So hopefully that kind of helps you put that into a little bit more context with what we've been doing. Now the way to remember what sides to use, there's a couple different methods to remember it. So usually in science, they're going to teach you about the old Indian SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA. I like to do it as a little bit more catchy phrase. So I like to use some old hippie came around here tripping on apples. Now the whole idea, whether you use the hippie or the SOHCAHTOA, is it tells you what sides to use. So sine, the S, uses O and H, just like if you use SOHCAHTOA, sine uses O and H. So this is opposite and hypotenuse. Came around here uses CAH, so that's adjacent and hypotenuse. And then tangent uses TOA, which is your opposite and your adjacent. So when I go to put the sides together, like you had to do for the homework assignment Friday and yesterday, we use that same idea, that same concept. So if I'm looking at angle A, sine is going to be opposite and hypotenuse. So opposite is the 5. The box points to my hypotenuse. So that's going to be 5 over 13. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's going to be 12 over 13. And then tangent is your opposite and your adjacent, so 5 over 12. So these little fractions tell you exactly which piece to put on top and exactly what piece to put on bottom. Now when I go to do C, we basically start all over again. We know the box points to your hypotenuse. The side way over on the other side of the triangle is your opposite side, and then the other side is the adjacent side. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So 12 over 13. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's going to be your 5 over 13. And tangent is your opposite over adjacent. So 12 over 5. Now let's look at the next one. So this is using angle W. So again, the box points to my hypotenuse. The side way on the other side of the triangle is my opposite side, and then the other side is the adjacent side. Now the problem that we see is that it doesn't give us the hypotenuse, but we've already learned that we can find that third side using Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to have 9 squared plus 12 squared equals that piece squared. So 81 plus 144 equals x squared. That gives me 225 equals x squared, and then I square root that, and you're going to get that this is 15. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. 12 over 15, but that reduces. They're both divisible by 3. We get 4/5. Cosine is going to be your adjacent over hypotenuse, so 9 over 15, so 3/5. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be 12 over 9, which is 4/3. When I go to do x, basically we start all over. So you erase all this stuff here. You're going to start all over. We still know this is 15. So now we're using x. So opposite side is now going to be the 9. Hypotenuse is still the 15, and now the 12 is the adjacent side. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So 9 over 15, which is 3/5. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 12 over 15, 4/5. And then your tangent is opposite over adjacent, so 9 over 12, which is 3/4. So again, all you had to do those first 2 days, the intro to trig, was be able to identify what side is opposite, what side is adjacent, and what side is a hypotenuse. Now we're going to get into something a little bit different. So the next example says use your calculator to find the following to 4 decimal places. So on your calculator, you can use your Chromebook or you can use your phone calculator. Either way, you have to use like the bigger calculator. So your phone, you turn sideways. The Chromebook, you have to extend it into the scientific type of calculator. But basically, depending on what thing you're going to put in, you're either going to type in sin 10 equals or you're going to put in 10 sin equals. So I used my phone and I have to do 10 and then the sign. Android, I think you get to put in sign and then 10. And I can't remember on the Chromebook. I think it's the 10 and then the sign, but I could be wrong. If it doesn't work, just flip it over. But when you put that in and you round to 4 decimal places, you should get 0.1736. Cosine 45 should give you 0.7071. And tan 63 should give you 1.9626. I do suggest that you play with the calculator and figure out how you put that in to get those answers so that you'll be able to continue on with us as we keep going.